2v2 Calderis Refinery. Blue team is the Imperium. We have Ghilgamesch as an Imperial Guard Lord General. Fights in range, has defensive and support abilities, and a retinue to help him out. Alongside him is James as a Space Marine Apothecary, support commander, fights in melee by default, emits a passive health regeneration aura to all nearby allied infantry, and has a targeted heal, but he's not the toughest. Chaotic red team, we have Red as a Plague Champion, defensive commander, can deploy turrets, can also heal and do some pretty nice damage over time. Not the toughest though, and he is slow. PaperBaG alongside him as a Chaos Sorcerer, offensive commander, has disruptive and offensive spells and some nasty tricks later on, fights in melee. Natural victory point for the blue team on the east side, natural for red team on the west side, and one in the center capped by heretics. Flaring up on the west side already, we have a sentinel on the field for Ghilgamesch, tier 1 vehicle that can decap points though it cannot cap. Moving in here for a stomp, I assume stomps the Plague Champion and moves off. Took a ton of damage, only has heavy armor so it does take damage from small arms. Chaos Space Marine is forced, no, gonna stand right next to the Lord General and shoot. Plague Champion of course has a Plague Bolter by default which does damage over time. Sentinel gonna save these guardsmen, will it, with a stomp, and there it is. Heretics by default are a melee squad, forced off there though. Barton also forced off. Plague Champion retreats, was a bit low. James has forced off PaperBaG for now. CSM opening into a Havoc for both Chaos players. James has shotguns on his scouts, there they are, capping the center, or rather decapping it. Tactical Marines have decapped that wreck point, very annoying. Now coming to cap center, I assume, since they capped a bit faster, 50% faster in fact. Generators going up for blue, already have a full farm. Another push here on this west side by Ghilgamesch. We see Nurgle worship from the Plague Champion's heretics, boosting the health regeneration of all this infantry. Unique among the Chaos worships in that it doesn't have a secondary effect to demons and doesn't affect vehicles at all, though it's very strong in tier 1 with that health regen, especially if it's stacked with an Apothecary's health regen, but they oppose each other today. Havocs are still around, heretics Doom Blast and run away, doubling this west side of blue team. Sentinel taking tons of damage from that Havoc. Imperial Guard have a bit of a problem countering setup teams in tier 1. They have Katashan Devils with their grenade launcher, but it doesn't always quite do the job. And here they are, in fact, from Ghilgamesch, and there was their grenade launcher, but as you can see they'll be able to set up before anything gets into melee range to tie them up. Red completely forced back in the mouth of his base from both blue players. James yet to get a third unit out. I assume he is saving for Assault Marines. Sentinel getting repaired. Double CSM on the field for Red along with the Havoc. That is a pretty strong tier 1 army early on. Havoc set up the wrong way, now reface. They're out of range though. Grenade launchers on the Lord General. Pretty good against clumps of infantry, though against heavily armoured Chaos Space Marines with Nurgle worship I don't think they're going to do much. Here comes the Plague Champion with his Plague Bolter. Katashan's disrupt all of that stuff. Heretics now have their aspiring champion, which is a Chaos Marine. making them much tougher and a pretty fearsome melee unit in tier 1. Over on the east side, which is red, we have Havoc set up, forcing off the scouts somehow. I don't know why they're set up that way. James's Apothecary went down, in fact. Looks like he has his master crafted bolter equipped. Chaos Sorcerer took him out though. Has his Sword of Flame and Vestments of the Warp. Very popular tier 1 war gear for the Chaos Sorcerer. Allows him to teleport around and do nice damage. Bit of a no-brainer. You see Red slowly inching forward with his Nurgle worshipped Marines. Has his Plague Sword, which is going to be nasty against Guardsmen and Catachans. Creates a zombie every time he kills something with it, which is pretty fun. He is not the toughest and a tad slow to start off though. But in tier 1 against Imperial Guard, he shouldn't be able to be focused down that quickly. Going to decap, is he? No. Chaos Space Marines will try to decap. Harassed by a Sentinel. Sentinel's going to be forced off though, around half HP. Plague Champion heading to Centaurzy, maybe to put down a turret or something. Still no third unit for James, unless he has got one and lost it and I didn't notice, which is possible. Heretics forced off with their aspiring champion. James pushed back all the way into his base, literally. PaperBaG, I don't think he should have done that. Now he's forced to retreat and James can come out and recap things. He did manage to take James's natural power and put a node on it, which is pretty annoying. Scouts have their Sergeant, Nurgle worshipped Chaos Space Marines, and they have it locking down this west side. Plague Champion takes center. Triple cap for red. 4-1-2 plays 4-2-6. Chimera on the way for Ghilgamesch. James finally gets his Assault Marines on the field. Jump infantry, fighting melee, good at disruption.
Victory point acquired by our mates, sir.
Blue have retaking and their natural thanks to Tactical Marines moving in on these Chaos Space Marines, popping their Kraken bolts, doing more damage to heavy infantry. Chaos Space Marines come to force melee. No, we're just going for heavy cover there I think, but they decide to retreat. Complete dominance on this west side now from red. Chimera hits the field. Not often you see Catachan Devils in tier 1, but here they are getting their Sergeant, which gives them a melter gun now loaded up along with Guardsmen into this Chimera. Assault Marines have their Sergeant already, also have their Thunder and Lightning upgrade. Bloodletters on the field for PaperBaG. Very strong melee infantry. Heavy damage versus all targets. Pretty slow though, as you can see. Though they can teleport. Chaos Sorcerer in melee with Tactical Marines. You see his special attack there knocking back all of those Marines. Knocks back units 360 degrees behind him, around him rather. Assault Marines trying to finish him off in retreat and do. 2-1 cap now for blue. A load of stuff set up on this side from PaperBaG. Sentinel has gone down from Ghilgamesch, did not see it. Chimera is going to come all the way into base here, trying to finish off these Chaos Space Marines, Chaos Havocs rather, and does. And they had the Mark of Khorne, so that's a pretty big blow for red. James happy to camp in center for the time being. Sergeant on both his Tactical Marines, getting their plasma gun. Good versus heavy infantry. We see Tzeentch worship infiltrating all this stuff. Assault Marines jump in, bad mistake. Bloodletters are right there, he wasn't to know of course. Also forced melee by the Chaos Space Marines. Don't think the Apothecary is close enough for a heal, and he isn't. Assault Marines knocked back in retreat, gonna lose members. Or not. Very lucky not to lose a member there. Where is the Chaos Sorcerer? He's capping. 2-1 cap for blue. Lord General has his Sergeant Retinue member giving him a medical pack to distribute to troops. Can't use it himself though. Dual Chaos Space Marines with Aspiring Champion and Eternal War. No mark yet. Tier 3 for PaperBaG. 3 Bloodletters left out of this squad. Bright yellow from red. Chaos Space Marines cap center and retreat since they're down to half health. Heretics with their Aspiring Champion still level 1. Triple cap for red.
Understood. So the generator is online.
Katashan Devils have infiltrated since they've been idle. Revealed since they are capping now. Tactical Marines capping the Eastern VP. We see full auto on the Chaos Sorcerer, sorry. He gets away though. Full auto given by the Mastercrafted Bolter. Great at taking out commanders and sub-commanders. Tier 3 for Ghilgamesch now. We have Noise Marines on the way for red. Perhaps he wants the Blastmaster to lock down the centre. They'll just get jumped by Assault Marines though, you feel. We have a Razorback on the field for James. Transport vehicle for Space Marines allows them to reinforce. Plague Champion has his Icon of Nurgle, one of my favourite commander accessories in the game. Constant damage to nearby infantry if he can get in the range without dying. Bloodletters warp in, trying to take out the Chimera. Demolition charges set. Ouch! Bloodletters phase out so they can kite away without taking damage, but they're still going to be in trouble here. Medipack going off for the Katashans there. Bloodletters need to retreat, really need to retreat. He's busy microing elsewhere. Bloodletters go down. Bloodletters from PaperBaG now on the Razorback. All kicking off on this west side. Assault Marines and Tactical Marines forced off. Chimera making sure those Bloodletters won't chase that Razorback and they retreat. Dual CSM, 1 member short. Chaos Predator on the field for PaperBaG already has the Mark of Tzeentch, giving it Twin Link Las Cannon. Chaos Sorcerer forced off with 63 hit points by Scouts. 2-1 cap for blue. They are now repairing that Razorback. Blues have pulled the map back here. We do have a Blastmaster on these Noise Marines, turning them into an artillery unit. Misfires there since the Chimera got out of range. Plasma Devastator on the way for James. Artillery unit for the Space Marines. The Chimera goes down, had no chance against the Chaos Predator. Bunch of Guardsmen died, and here's a Noxious Cloud in the retreat path. A bit too close, it's not going to be able to catch them. Bit of a misplacement there from red. Unlucky really, could have wiped both of those squads. Ghilgamesch floating a crap ton of requisition, obviously going for a Baneblade. Lets his teammate know it's coming soon. James happy to sit in centre. Here comes some Chaos Space Marines. They're going to be forced off though. They do have support. Huge pitched battle in the Sentinel over this VP. Chaos Space Marines able to decap. Blue a bit slow to react, though I suppose Ghilgamesch has nothing to contribute here. Not sure where his stuff is. It's at base on the way out. Baneblade on the way for him. Middle has been decapped. 287 plays 295. Very close. Scouts are out. Oh, thought if that Plasma Devastator hit that blob, that would be nasty. We have a Nurgle Shrine up, built by the Heretics. Periodically heals friendly units and suppresses enemy units. Very useful shrine. Chaos Sorcerer did cap center before being knocked down. Tzeentch worship and Nurgle worship here. Infiltration and heal. Nurgle's worship is against the shrine, so all of this stuff can reinforce around it. So you do lose the passive regen. Great Unclean One on the way for PaperBaG. Baneblade is on the field, super heavy tank, bristling with guns. Very slow though to make it to the battlefield, as you can see. Blastmaster's just missing. I assume they're waiting for the Baneblade to make a push. James indicates he's going around and is. Will the Blastmasters reface? They'll just get jumped by the Assault Marines, I think. Should be pulled back. And Red is doing so. Nurgle Heretic stopped worshipping the shrine. Still heals and suppresses, but can no longer reinforce. Bloodletter's forced off, not sure what they were thinking. Dark flames going off on those guardsmen, devastating, ouch. They get into the Razorback to avoid a wipe, but tons of them died. Baneblade now sitting on the center, Demolisher Cannon misses. Dual CSM forced off. Tzeentch Predator is infiltrated, not anymore. This could be nasty. He's going to take rear armor hits from the Baneblade, almost goes down in a single main cannon shot, down to 14 HP. That was crazy. Heretics are going to die in retreat, are they? Everything forces melee, and they do. Big losses for the red team. That Tzeentch Predator is going to take a while to repair, and he has nothing to repair it. I suppose his Plague Champion could. Plague Champion in melee with the Baneblade, not going to do a lot with his sword. Here is the Great Unclean One, super unit for Chaos, fights in melee, hugely tough. Melter Bomb going off on it, which will slow it down. We have missile launcher on these tactical marines. Great Unclean One needs support here, forces off the Apothecary. There's Swarm of Flies, I think it's called, knocking back and damage over time to these marines. They defensively jump away. Great Unclean One pulls out. 233 plays 289, 2-1 cap for blue. Lehman Russ on the way for Ghilgamesch. Chaos Predator on the way for red. Reinforcing this west side. Katashan's taken almost fully flush hit from the Blastmaster and retreat immediately. Baneblade being repaired by 2 Guardsman squads. They have their plasma guns, so they're going to be pretty dangerous at range against these marines.
We just need to find an edge.
Blue nicely set up in the center with a plasma cannon, assault marine scouts, tacticals, and of course the Baneblade.
Our ally structure is under attack.
Heretics choosing to repair rather than worship and heal up the Great Unclean One. We have another Chaos Predator on the way. James indicating that he's close to Terminators. We have Mark of Tzeentch on the Chaos Space Marines, both of them. Blastmaster knocking them down, knocks down friendly units but doesn't damage them. There's a Demolisher Cannon almost taking out the Predator, and it goes down. Didn't last 2 seconds against the Baneblade. Red not happy with it. It counters tanks. I mean, what do you expect? Get a couple of Bloodletters each, and that Baneblade will go down pretty fast. Red's trying to push. Plague Fist on the Plague Champion now, but he can't get close enough to hit anything. Predators going down like flies here. Bad choice for red team to go for Predators against the Baneblade. Not sure what the Great Unclean One's doing, he's vomiting everywhere. The third Predator goes down. Reds have a 2-to-1 cap. They've taken Blue's natural on the east side. Great and Clean One still in the fight. There's his vomit. Chaos Sorcerer goes down. Was that friendly fire? I'm not sure. And the red team concede in the end. That was just a bit too much in the centre to deal with. Bad choice to get tanks up against the Baneblade. Really, really bad choice. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.